All right. Yep. All right. Very good. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Not right now, Ezzy. Not right now. Come play with your toys. Welcome, everyone on TikTok. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Thanks so much for the hearts. Greatly appreciated. Please do share this video, especially if you have someone in your life who is dealing with some love issues or family drama. Who isn't this time of year? Maybe something with friendships, coworkers, bosses, whatever. Relationships of any kind. And this includes pets. Sometimes people have very interesting questions. Is my cat my previous, soulmate, or what's happening with this? So any kind of relationship question goes. So share the video, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It does help me out in the algorithm. Are we live on Instagram, or is Instagram just kind of, it's one of these platforms that I don't know. I don't know if I should keep investing time here. If there is anyone there on Instagram, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. And if you feel like it's going in and out, you could switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy. For those of you that really want to support me in a significant way, always YouTube at Ask Ivy. I don't have the most followers there. I think I'm only at like 11 or 12,000, but still, it's a platform that pays me consistently. They don't stifle what I'm saying. Like TikTok, I can speak without them shutting me down and putting me in jail all the time. And I don't think of myself as being super controversial, okay? But these other platforms have a way of making me out to be that way. So again, YouTube isn't going to do that to me, okay? And ultimately, that is my main focus, is building this channel. So if you can, switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy and subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Also, it makes it easier tonight for you to make your payment, submit your question. You could do everything in one place. Welcome, everyone on Facebook, Ivy Angela Rivera, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium, and here on YouTube. Okay, it looks good. We look good. We are doing love and relationship questions tonight. So $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. And you do need to include the name or names of whoever it is that you're referring to. If you feel like you're going to be publicly outed, it's possible. But you can at least include the initials, okay, if you don't want to write out the whole name of whoever it is that you're referring to. And if you really need privacy, you can go onto my website, ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, and you can click on love and relationship readings and book something with me. Okay, if it's just one question, you could just submit an email reading. Okay, a one question email read, something like that. And I do work with everyone internationally. So, you're in China, you're in India, you're in a different time zone. You can book a reading different times throughout the schedule. And if it doesn't fit still, you can get a video download read. I'll get that sent right over to you. All right. So I am an international reader. All right. I do want to get to a couple quick announcements, but Jill is under the weather and I've been locked up here. I'm in upstate New York for like maybe 6 days, 7 days. I don't even know how long I've been in this house. They just dug me out. I got out for like an hour yesterday to run to the store for some emergency supplies, and we're getting hit with another storm tonight, and I'll be in here for another few days. So I'm a little out of it, and Jill's a little loopy, okay? So just bear with us tonight. Couple quick announcements, though. I'm trying to think of what the heck I wanted to talk about. Psychic Mediumship course starts January 7th. And you don't have to wait for that. If you want to start today, you could do that. We are evergreen. However, if you wanted to be with a group, that's going to start January 7th. It runs 28 weeks, and I am running a raffle. So you can get your raffle tickets up on the website and possibly win a free seat to the course. So check it out. We also have tarot class beginning the same day. And this is adult learning. So with the tarot course and my psychic mediumship course, you could do this through video download. You could do it online with us as a group. And mine is being offered in person, but I don't know who in the right mind would drive out here. Okay, so I think we can scratch that for the next couple months. But whatever. So you could do a mix match. You don't have to be there every week. If you can't make it, you have something going on with work, something going on with your kid, you can get the video download from that week. All right, and we can all move along together. So tarot registration is now open. And with the tarot course, the way we do it here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy, you are never going to get stuck using a tool. Now, I know some amazing tarot readers who are great at what they do, but they cannot leave those cards behind. And it has been bothering them for years. They desperately want to evolve into mediumship or straight up psychic reads without that deck of cards, and they simply cannot make the leap. And that's because of the way they were trained and because they were leaning on it as a crutch. Tiffany Chisler, our tarot instructor, is going to teach you in the traditional method of using the cards, but also the intuitive method, which helps you evolve into mediumship, psychic ability on your own. You know, so if this is something you've been hesitant about, don't be, okay? And it is amazing. People really love a visual. So I wish I knew how to do it better. You know, so also if you're an entrepreneur and this is something you feel called to help others, counsel others, you're a light worker, you're a natural healer, this is going to be great as a business opportunity for you, both with the psychic mediumship course and tarot. And you do have lifelong work opportunities through Ivy's Healing Call Center, Ivy League Psychic Fairs, my spillover work, ILPA opportunities, and then obviously anything that you do on your own. All right, so check it out. The only other announcement I think I really need to make is that I am back on finishing up the Symbology book. I was held up because my in-season launched in May and it was nuts. Okay, I didn't stop. I was constantly on the road and it just really wrapped up this week. So I'm back to the final stages of publishing my Symbology book. If you want to get on the early bird wait list, you can email me at revivrivera@yahoo.com and just put in the title, add me. Okay, and I'll get you up there. So my Symbology book is based on the 4 hours of symbology training I do in the psychic mediumship course, dream analysis, Carl Jung, different archetypes, astrology, numerology, colors, right? Animal totems, you name it, I cover it. It's an obsession of mine, all right? And so people have really enjoyed following along with what different symbols that pop up in your life are actually telling you. You have to know this language. So important. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my Get a Grip on Your Love, Life, and Relationships show, where Spirit and I answer whatever questions it is that you have about your relationships. Now, $5 gets you the short answer, $10 gets you the long answer. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, Jill, my producer, is posting repeatedly in the comment section where you can go leave your donation and your question, because she cannot pin it, nor can we put it in the description. If that is difficult for you, you could switch off of those platforms and you can come over here to YouTube at Ask Ivy. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. What do we have? All right, so CJG has a $10 question. CJG wants to know, could you please tell me what's going on in TNJ's life since our breakup? Okay. First of all, if you have to ask something like that, you're going to want to reverse that question towards your own self. Why am I not over this? Why is that important to me? What is this trying to show me? What is the bigger lesson here? And I know you're like, whatever, I don't care. Just tell me what they're up to. Are they thinking about me and this and that? Are they coming back or whatever? But no. Because it cannot get there until this is done. So whenever we're sort of thinking on someone else, or we're watching someone else, or we're spying on someone else, right? We want to remember that it's always showing us some unresolved issue within ourself. Everyone and everything that happens to us is just a reflection, a mirror about us. Anyways, this is all an illusion. Okay, so what is this showing you about the relationship, and what are you holding on to, okay, that is unresolved? And then once you figure that out, you can figure out how you can bring healing into your life in that area, okay? So that's a great message for everyone. What is this person up to, though, in their life? Not much thinking, not much growth, a lot of blame, not necessarily just on you, but like on things. This is an individual who has a victim mentality and a lot of stagnancy in their life, which is probably why a lot of things didn't work out between the two of you. But this is a person who blames work, or blames the government, or blames society, or blames my childhood, or blames a lover and that lover and that lover and that lover and that and you. And then it's like, where can I, this person thinks in terms of like, okay, I have this thing coming up to the surface that I need to process. Where can I put it? Where can I blame? Instead of going through it. So when someone thinks that way, you never really need to ask, how are they doing? They're not doing anything. They are stagnating. They are being shown by the universe what they need to do, but they're resisting. And so they are receiving nothing but negative karmic kickback. This is a person whose prosperity will always decrease. And that doesn't just hit the romantic arena in life, that hits all areas in life. Because when we have some type of deficit in our life, in any area, it affects all other areas of life. Everyone wants to see life as categories because the government has benefited, right? Education system, capitalism, patriarchy has benefited from brainwashing you into that. We have money over here. We have love life over here. We have health over here. No, we don't. It's a spider web. It's all connected. And when you have a big gap in your spider web, a big hole, a big void, and that's not being repaired, all other areas are affected, okay? Not just whatever event occurred to cause that hole. And so this is an individual who's like, I don't live in a spider web. I don't need to fix anything. They're unmotivated. And any draw to you, any desire to emotionally reconnect with you has to do more with a desire to siphon your energy or take from you or get you to make them feel like they're okay to not do that work and to stroke their ego and to keep motivating them to keep on going with the sort of con game that is their life. A lot of people sadly live this way, and it's up to you to keep that boundary, set. And that doesn't just mean not speaking. That means not thinking on this person, not feeding their energy, not emotionally giving to them, because they can also feel that and feed off of that on a universal scale. Okay. So not much going on there. No. No. Okay. Let's move on to another one. Again, you guys can ask questions about any type of relationship dynamic. Do include the name, so Jill, my producer, who is quite ill at the moment, doesn't have to chase you down to get the name or initials. And if you want to do this privately, you can go onto my website, ivyriveraPsychicMedium.com, to book this privately, okay, under Love and Relationship Reads. Let's move on to Mairead. This is a $10 reading. So Mairead says, hi, Ivy, can you tell me what I should expect in my love life over the next few months? Thank you. Okay. Over the next few months, I see you. This is a little weird. Well, this is something you're doing. So if you feel like it's weird, that may be a good place to start analyzing it. What I see you doing is reaching out and pulling people in and then setting boundaries and pushing them away. Sometimes we do this just to get good practice. We can almost overdo it. If you didn't have good boundaries in the past, we can lean way too far to the other side where we pull people in and then we're like, I'm setting a boundary with you. And they're like, I didn't do anything. You're like, you better watch it, and it's like, wow, what's that? And then eventually you level out a little bit. Okay. So that could be what you're doing here in part. It could also be a desire to have, is a combination of these things is what I'm saying. It's going to be a desire in the future, because this is coming up to your right. So over the next few months, like you asked, to have the company, to get the attention, to maybe have a little sexual adventure with someone, to, you know, bask in that energy of being like attracted to somebody, like the butterflies, whatever, and to have someone feel that for you. There could be a desire you're pulling in to just play and toy with that energy. And I think what ends up happening is that you realize it's very shallow. You know, a lot of older people who get interviewed about what they miss from their past or their youth, or, you know, a lot of people are super flirty and sexual and everything well into their 70s and 80s, but most aren't. And what these older people always say about missing something is they miss flirting. They miss that fun interaction, that high, right? That dopamine hit that they got from that. And what you may be doing is trying to get a dopamine hit. And then once you get it, you're like, yeah, but you don't have anything to offer me. So, you know, I'm closing the door on you, or I'm setting a boundary or whatever. And they may be like, which is not a crime. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. But that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so there's the answer to the question. That's what it's going to look like for the next few months. I guess if I were to say that I have a suggestion about how to improve upon that, I would say be mindful, be aware that that's what you're doing, because the bigger picture to all of this is getting down to sort of the nitty gritty on why you're doing the things you're doing, why you're attracted to the people that you're attracted to, why you set those boundaries. Why am I doing this? Ask a lot of questions, journal it out, but there's definitely going to be enough activity if you want to toy around. Okay. Yeah, it's time to learn how to do this. And for you in particular, it may be a great time to learn how to play. Just play, just take relationships lightly. Okay. The majority of them aren't going anywhere anyways. And even the ones that do, they tend to not last. There's nothing wrong with living that lifestyle. Okay. Happily. It can be very fulfilling. All right, we're going to move on to another one. This is from Devin. I do want to ask everyone to please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It helps me out in the algorithm. Please do press those hearts and share also at this time, especially on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. And if you want to become a member here on YouTube, you could hit the join button to see the 3 different tiers. All right, so we're going to move on to Devin. So Devin wants to know, I feel like I'm losing myself aiming to please others these days. Thank you for your time and spirit. Can't wait for the live tonight. Absolutely. Thank you. So if you feel like this is not really a question, it's just, I guess, more of a statement. I feel like I'm losing myself aiming to please others. Well, I mean, identification of a problem like this is the first, and I would say the most important step. Because once you identify it, whether you decide to take action or not on it, whether you decide you're going to set better boundaries, you know, whether you actually walk and maintain any of those boundaries in the future, it almost doesn't matter, because the minute you realize it, you're going to get irritated. And every single time it happens, you're going to get even more irritated. And every single time you disrespect yourself by allowing it to happen or feeding the problem, you're going to get even more irritated with yourself. And it's sort of like a volcano that erupts. Now, a wise individual will say, I have noticed this. This is a problem. It's becoming a bigger problem. It keeps happening in a pattern. I need to assess why it's there and then what I'm going to do about making sure it doesn't continue to happen. And that is entirely going to break down to self-control. So only you can decide how it is that you're going to prevent it from happening again in the future with new people, and how you're going to discontinue the toxic effects it's having on you at this time with current relationship dynamics. And you know, need to start with why it is that you're allowing it. So I would do at least a 15-minute session if I were you, with your guides, your ancestors, your angels. Your guardian angel in particular is assigned to you at birth and watches over your mental and emotional well-being. And when we don't take care of our mental and emotional well-being, we eventually screw up our manifestation and our law of attraction, and that can attract all kinds of negative problems. And that's where your protector angel comes in to make sure that you're making the right choices and setting up the right boundaries, because they can't do it all for you. Okay, so I would do like a 15-minute introspective talk with yourself and at least your angels, and ask of your higher mind, why am I doing this? Write down why you think you're doing it, and then start figuring out what you want to do about that information. Do you want to go to therapy? Do you want to read some self-help books? Do you want to do behavioral modification? What does it mean for you? Okay, moving forward. But what you can't do is allow it, especially once you've recognized it, because of how quickly it festers. So take it very seriously. All right, thank you so much. We're going to move on to, I would also just say this isn't just for Devin, but a lot of people really don't deserve that. A lot of people don't earn that. I've spent all of 2024, I've spent that whole time, being focused on relationships and clearing out people who were dead weight, who were just riding my coattails or siphoning off of me, or I'm a great active listener, I'm always there for them, and I get one-word answers out of them, or they're never available, and it's like, nope, done, bye-bye, and there are a million different variations of that type of entitled energy coming from people, okay? And when you see it and things have become one-sided, I don't care if this is in business contracts, family, friends, whatever, you need to leave, okay? So just do it unapologetically, and it makes room for the new. I haven't regretted cutting off one person this year, you know what I mean? Whatever. I mean, it wasn't any use to me anyways. It was just taking from my time and attention. All right, we're going to move on to Edgar. So this is a $10. So Edgar says, what messages does my deceased grandmother, Momchella, have for me? The anniversary of her passing is this Saturday. Okay, well, this is a relationship show, but I'll see if she has anything to say. Momchella, she just kind of comes around and is like guarding your heart. So I feel like if you've been wanting a little extra love, affection, protection, it can be a symbol of protection. In this case, I feel it's more like protecting your heart itself that she mentions, and trying to let you know that you're not alone. So if you've been going through a period of time also where there's loneliness or sense of isolation, it's almost like you've been thinking of leaning into the spirit world more. You're thinking of utilizing all of the spirits around you, appointed and otherwise, okay, for company. And I think you're starting to realize that that's a pretty good deal to have them over here. You may be going through a period of introspection as well, almost like you're leaving any type of extrovert energy, and you're becoming a little bit more of an introvert, just wanting to be in your head, and paying attention to the right side of your brain where spirit communicates is going to be key to you feeling fulfilled in that space. So, watch for her there. But mostly it's almost like you're coming out of a lot of activity and you're feeling like, I have to examine everything that's gone on the last few months. And it could leave you feeling a little wounded in the heart. It could be, letting you down a bit. This feeling of heaviness in your heart or loneliness, a lot of this due to relationship dynamics, is an area where she protects you. Okay, so keep talking to her about that. And I would expect also after the next couple months where you are being a little more quiet and introspective with all of this, you come out as a much bolder energy that sort of commands higher vibrational relationships. And you're claiming it, you're manifesting people to you. But you seem to be more detached, more reserved, right? Kind of king on the throne energy, calm, cool, collected. It comes to you, and then you can judge it as it approaches. So we will be seeing a shift there for sure if you do this, okay? If you do this work. All right, thank you, Edgar. We are going to the cats. I don't know if you can hear them. They're like trying to break down the door, and they have also not gone outside for probably a week because of all this snow. Fairy Godmother, $5 question. She wants to know, I'm excited about my relationship with Jason. Do you see this continuing to grow? Thank you. Okay. So when I go over here with you and Jason, it does come up to the right side, which is the future. That's a good placement. It is very close, I want to say. Okay, so the next couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, ranging into maybe the upcoming 2 months, we are going to see what this relationship is really made of. And during that time, what you want to do is, not want anything. And you want to simply see the truth. And you have your eyes and ears wide open to recognize patterns of behavior and whether or not Jason really shows up for you, in a significant way, meaning that it's not just like the words, like I'm going to show up for you, or this person's attendance in your life through, text or visibility every day, but more like emotionally, intellectually, sexually, is this person showing up for you? Is there an ongoing connection? It takes a little time for these things to fully develop and to be seen. So that's what you're going to be looking at. That's what Spirit is suggesting you pay attention to, instead of deciding that you want this to work, or this is something you really want to keep in your life, or you hope that it evolves. Kill all of that in any relationship dynamic in your life ever. Okay? No. We are not trying to take a relationship and force it to be something else. It simply is what it is, and you're just observing. You're engaging. You're enjoying. And if there are things that you don't enjoy, you are also acknowledging those things instead of like masking them or taking it as a red flag and being like, oh, it's only pink, or I can, get 3 red flags before it's a problem or whatever. So I think that one of the things you guys may be discussing is consistency, and whether or not, that's always coming from Jason. And you may be having to look at a desire to kind of overreach, and realizing that that has to be pulled back from. Okay, so that's what it looks like for a while. 2 to 3 weeks, we'll see some activity. And then for the next 2 months, we'll see some activity there. Okay, and like any relationship, it is beautiful. It is lovely. It is also work. Okay, so enjoy. All right, we're going to move on to another question here from Christine. This is a $10. All right, Christine wants to know, when do you see my love partner and I truly desire coming in? When do you see my love partner? Oh, I truly desire coming in. I think for a while you switched it up a lot. You may have thought you wanted something, or that you had 2 different types. And then when they were there, you were like, you know what? I don't want this. This isn't it. Like, it's not fulfilling me. Or because these people had a tendency to, not bring a lot to the table. There was a lack of consistency. You saw that they didn't really see you as their lover, or maybe as a person. You were just kind of keeping them company. You felt like you could have been anyone. You could have been a rock. You could have been a dog. You could have been anyone. Because of that, you switched up a lot. And so what's happened is that you processed a lot of that, and that's great. Because you did the work, you are now able to say to the universe, this is what I want. I know this, and I deserve this. And this is something I'm in alignment with, as far as frequency is concerned. And one of the ways to motivate the universe to give you what you want is to write it down on a piece of paper. So I would highly recommend you write down 15 things that you are claiming in a love partner. Fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it away. If any of my clients or students are here tonight and I've had you do this, please post in the comment section how this worked out for you, okay? Because it has a great return. I think that after leaving it there for a while. Okay, 6 months to a year it usually takes for this person to show up. But so I've had it happen to me within a matter of like a week from across the country or across the globe. Another time that happened from India. It was crazy, right? Like, anyways, it happens sometimes quickly. It depends. I think it depends on how ready each individual is. Meaning, has this person also done the work? Because we see you've done the work. So with this individual coming in, you know, you are going to notice the first thing is the flow, the speed in communication. And it's almost like you're not trying. It's also going to feel so fast, like you can't slow it down. So it may look crazy to other people and they'll be like, what are you doing? You know, you're already talking to this person every day. You're in a relationship with this person. When you have past life connection, when you have soulmate connection, when you have a contract with someone and you have cords, there is no slowing it down. You can logically say those things, but it's going to pick up from where it left off. So it already has a ridiculous amount of momentum and, you know, speed to it. And you really just want to kind of roll with those punches while being mindful, you know, that you don't want to go too crazy. I think that this relationship for you may be one of these foundational things that kind of shatter. I'm hearing it's going to shatter her belief. It's going to shatter her previously notions and all of these things that maybe you had, you idealistically thought you wanted and they didn't work out. This is a totally different ball game for you. So identify those things. That's part of the lesson for you. That's important to recognize. And I think that if you were looking for something more long-term, cohabitation, monogamy, long-term committed situation, engagement, potential for marriage, that could very well be here. It's going to depend a lot upon whether or not you guys come together and freak out because of the connection, which often happens. It can create obsession and then the whole thing implodes, or you stay calm, cool, and collected, and you take it one step after another as far as you can. So we'll see at that time what happens, okay? Enjoy. Very exciting. This is what happens when you do the work. You can have the reward, you know? Because we do have 5 to 6 soulmates that are assigned to us, okay? So they will come in. All right, so let's move on to another one. Also, you guys, if you're tuning in a little bit late, this is my Get a Grip on Your Love, Life, and Relationships show. You can ask about your pets. You can ask about family, friends, coworkers, bosses, neighbors, lovers, spouses, whatever it is, okay? Do include the name or names of whoever it is that you're referring to. And if you don't want to put that out publicly, at least give me the initials and you can book privately up on my website. All right, Shining Divine Light, $5 says, hi, Ivy. Will Derek change his financial ways for us to live comfortably? No, probably not. You know, what I'm getting with Derek is I'm very set in my ways. I don't know if there's some Taurus energy in there or something, maybe some Aries. Something is happening here where this person doesn't, it's like, I want to do things this way because I know things this way. I am comfortable doing things this way. And also, if you tell me to, or I'm pressured to, or I feel like I should, I will resist that. That almost suggests to me, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but some ADD tendencies. You know, there's a resistance to maybe what needs to happen, you know, and I think that has been also this person's way of life for a really long time. So even if it is a defense mechanism, it's kind of worked. That doesn't mean it's going to work forever. That's how habits go. You know, this is what growth is. This is how change comes about. It has to happen. We have to have a breakthrough here, but I would not expect that breakthrough in the way that you think it should happen or will happen. This is a person who may also leap way over what it seems the next step should be. So this is someone who may just all of a sudden be like, you know what, forget all this. I'm not doing any of this anymore. I'm going to start this business over here, for example. And you're like, okay. wow, am I supporting that? Or, you know, I think you'll have to deal with that when it comes. This is up to your free will, obviously. But you could see that type of energy where this person doesn't want to just have another level up in their small world of what they've been doing. They want bigger, go home. If I'm doing this change, I'm doing the full change. I'm going to make it happen. So, you know, we could, with that type of a move, see this level up. It also seems that an opportunity could be coming in that could make you a bit more comfortable. So something may be offered to him, and all he really has to do is take it. And I think he probably will, you know, take it. So that'll fix it a little bit. Like we're getting a little bit closer through those opportunities. Okay. All right. Thank you for your question, Shining Light. We are going to move on to another one. This is Christina, $10. Christina wants to know, is Jose genuinely interested in me, or is it just friendship? I've been feeling like my relationship with him is definitely a slow burn, but I can't help but question his intentions. Well, it's not friendship. I mean, it is, you know, but it's not primarily what he's looking for. I think that what he is doing, he may be very good looking. I think what he's doing is what he's always been able to do. You know, you just kind of sit back and let it come to you, and you can entertain it. You cannot. Another one's always waiting. You know, there's this sort of lackadaisical attitude going on with him. Slow burn is the right word. I mean, it's always going to be, with a person like this, questionable as to whether or not it's going to go somewhere deeper. If it's passionate, if there's a good sexual connection, if there is chemistry, if it's intriguing in some way for him, he will entertain that. But if you're looking for something more like a committed, monogamous relationship, cohabitation, you know, a lot of intellectual stimulation, I don't know about that. And I think he doesn't want to present himself as though he wants that, because he is very aware of karma. This is one of the things that makes him hot, is that he has intuitive intelligence. So, and there is a certain level of emotional intelligence there as well, but he knows what karma is. And he's not going to screw with karma and spit in her face unless he really has to. So he's not going to lead you on, you know, but it's like you have to just sort of identify that and want that too. I don't want anything more than what's here. I only want the truth. I just want to enjoy what's here. You take people and you identify what they can bring to your life and what the energy swap is between the two of you, and you put them in a category and you keep them there, and you never let them out of that category unless they've earned more. And so don't want anything more here. You know, that would be best. That would also be, I think, the way you guys jive. I think it would be the best way for you guys to really fully enjoy each other, is by being like, whatever, you know. You also have to be honest with yourself. And if you want something more, this may not be it, you know. And it's not because you guys are leading to that point. It's because he really kind of sits back and relaxes in regards to relationships and has always been able to, and he may always be able to, you know. So it kind of just comes to him. It's easy. So he doesn't put an effort. I don't know that's going to be up to your standards. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your question, Christina. We are going to move on to another one. This is from Edgar. This is a $10 question. Edgar wants to know, when will me and Jennifer become a couple? How would her family get along with me? Such as her parents, 2 kids, etc. Okay. Well, we're not really going to fully know that until this exists. So to answer this today is not at all the answer you would have when you guys, if you guys are ever actually together. Okay. So I would take this with a grain of salt. Why? Because humans have free will. And humans by nature are here on earth to grow and to change and to develop. And that affects everything with this question. Okay. So I can't say. However, let's just for like make believe, say that you guys were together today or you get together tomorrow and her family and your family meet. Or I think you're asking, how will you be in her family? Okay. I would say that there is a lot of side-eyeing going on here with the parents. They're a little weird. They may be a little confined to their world. You know, they remind me of people who haven't maybe traveled a lot, or they don't have friends of a lot of different groups, different maybe nationalities or races or people from different classes. They stay huddled in their own little group. And they may even within that group mostly stay huddled with family members. This does not create the greatest personality and character development in human beings, okay, to be that sheltered. And so they may be kind of looking at you a little sideways, like you're new, you're different. I have no idea how to even handle this, when in actuality, like you're a totally normal person. There's nothing extreme happening here. So I don't know, they're sheltered. And I think that they don't present that way though. You know, it's very, well, God bless you. It's very like sweet to your face. It's very like, isn't that interesting? You know, it's very phony engagement. So, I mean, who cares though? I mean, honestly, like you're not dating them, you know, you wouldn't be sleeping with them or thinking of marriage with them. So it is what it is. The kids, as of today, I think that would go really well. I think that would go really well. One kid has a chip on their shoulder, but they kind of do with everybody. And it's more to test you, you know, to see what they can get away with. That's fine. Kids are kids. They probably grow out of that. As far as the two of you getting together, that's sort of the same answer. This person is tied up with someone else. So this is not a person who's available to you right now. You would do well not to focus on that part. This is the third time I've said this tonight. We definitely, who has noticed the theme? Okay, every show I do, there's a theme that pops out at some point. The theme here tonight is to stop wanting it to be more than what it is, because that's how we disrupt the flow. That's how we create blocks and obstacles. So right now I wouldn't focus on when can we become a couple. There is so much that has to happen here. She has so much clearing and detoxing, cord cutting to do, development to do, self-healing, time alone before this is going to happen in a healthy way that can last, because that's what you're asking, right? And you also have stuff to do. So I would focus more there and we'll see. I mean, but you know, I think over the course of the upcoming 2 years, you guys will definitely be interacting with each other. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. Yeah, that's the theme. I still want you guys to send in your questions. Now I'm intrigued. That is the theme, right? We want relationships to be here, now, in this way. Or I hope I can keep this, or I hope I can have this. There's a class a free class up on my YouTube at Ask Ivy called The Reality of Relationships. You guys are going to want to watch that, okay? It teaches you how to be in the here and now with wherever we are and wherever they are. Let's work with what's here now, you know, so you can maximize these relationships, fulfill these contracts, really enjoy the ride, you know. Another one here from a CJG. This is a $10. CJG says, could you please tell me what I have coming up for me in love after my recent breakup? Okay. What do you have coming up in love after this breakup? clearing this energy out, clearing this person out. I don't know if you feel with this person that you have to like literally get a shovel and like dig a hole, you know, but this is going to be suggestive, symbolically, obviously, of burying this person. Okay. And what that means is that you have to find a way to keep cutting those cords, and you may have to do this repeatedly. Cord cutting is usually not, especially with something that's dynamic, a one-time ceremony. You know, it's a practice. For as long as those cords have been there, now we're cutting when they're inappropriately so. So this person will continue to pull and tug at you. Now, that's one thing in itself that needs to be buried and put to rest. Okay, you knowing how to use a cord cutting to bury that aspect. But the other thing that's a little more concerning here is that when someone is doing their tugging and pulling at the cords, you're dreaming about them. It can become almost like obsessive energy. They'll pop up everywhere. Their name will pop up everywhere. Signs and symbols of the ex everywhere. Why is this happening? Does it mean we're supposed to be together? Is there unfinished business? Maybe not. It could just be the stupid cord. Okay. And you can do that voluntarily and involuntarily to each other. So once that's fixed, okay, we could see more motion and fluidity and high vibrational energy of other love partners coming into you. However, when this is still here like this, it clogs everything. It reads as a block. And to love partners who may be interested in you, it may read as though you're lying, you're unavailable, you're hiding a relationship. And you may be saying, I'm not, I'm single, but they know, everyone knows. They don't know what they know. They just know it says to them, something is wrong. This is a red flag. This person's energy is not being honest with me, or they're unavailable. They're hiding something. And we don't ever want to start on that foot. There are enough trust issues out there these days, but also they're not wrong. You know, you have this person clogging up your energy field. And so it's true. There is a block there. There is something tying you up in a way. Okay. These cords. So do that cord cutting, do that clearing. I think after that, what you need to do is what I told the other person earlier today. Write down 15 things that you are claiming to you, not wanting, not hoping, not praying for, claiming to you in a love partner. Fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it away in a drawer, okay? And this person will start to come closer to you. The other thing I just want to warn you about is that when you leave this energy field clogged up like that, you will attract plenty of love partners. And they are the worst kind. They are the people who don't care that this is going to be a fling. They don't care that you may be lying. They're not really interested anyways. So they're just here to use you and get a hit of adrenaline or whatever, you know, maybe a good fling out of it. And that's not at all what you're about. Okay. So there are a couple different reasons we need to clean this up, and then we can talk about that. But yeah, I see some nice looking energy coming in here. Okay. In the next year, ballpark 9 months, and, at about 1 year and 2 months as well, you may have a couple options. So you may decide to just play the field for a while, you know, or you may get involved in a relationship again around the 9th month out, and then just sort of be like, I think we need to kind of open this up, you know. I don't think it's becoming like a throuple, but I think it's like whatever. I think maybe it's taking a break and somebody else is coming in. This could get a little complicated for you for the next couple of years, but whatever. There's motion there, there's movement, and these are of quality. Okay. Thank you for your question, CJG. We are going to move on to another one. This is from Jamie, and this is a $10. So Jamie wants to know, I've started seeing someone, Jordan, and I'm wondering if you have any insight about our relationship. Are we a good fit? Should I be open to meet up with another person who reached out? And that's KS. Okay. Well, when I go over here with Jordan's energy, Jordan seems to be a little bit like slow moving anyways. You know, Jordan's funny because it's almost like I want to talk with you. I love this connection we have. I'm having a great time. Da 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 da. You guys have this great banter. There's all this back and forth energy. But really inside, Jordan is a little bit like, I'm pretty good on my own. It reminds me of object impermanence. I cannot talk. I forgot it's Mercury retrograde too. I don't even know what I said. Anyways, you know, there's this thing where sometimes out of sight, out of mind. Okay. Let me go the long way home. And you could be like, well, wait a minute. When we're together or when we're talking, there's all this back and forth banter, but like, where do you go? It's not ghosting. It's just not really remembering to constantly maintain that level of interaction that I don't really think is sustainable anyways. Okay. So Jordan may also be a little bit of a roller coaster. Okay. Where it's like, I'm super engaged in this. My social battery is off. Goodbye. I'll see you in 3 days. I'll talk to you later, you know, and it is what it is. So learning to roll with that is going to dictate where this relationship goes. And if you decide you don't care for that or some other aspects that kind of go hand in hand with this, then so be it. I do think that at this point, because you haven't figured all of that out yet, it's probably unwise to fully commit. And I'm not talking about you guys having a conversation saying we're fully committing. I'm talking about you not going on other dates, right? You restricting your emotion and mentality to Jordan. So every time you think of someone else or someone else pops up into your energy field, you're like, no, I'm with Jordan. No. That's going to have to be earned. That should take a long, long time. So play the field. Yeah, 100%. I would be playing the field for a while because we don't have all the information yet. When I go over here with KS, I feel like this person has a very strong personality and you may really enjoy that. You may feel intrigued. You may feel like, what is behind this wall? What is behind this curtain? What is in there? You know, what is in there? It's almost like this person keeps a straight face and they say things, but it's like what they say, even through the poker face, you're like, there's a lot there. It's not debatable. There is a lot there in order for them to say these types of things. There has to be experience and depth and insight, and it's intriguing. And you're like, I want to know what's in there. I would just be careful not to treat it like a game, you know. There is sort of a cat and mouse potential energy there between the two of you that I think would really sour things. Okay, so keep games out of it. This person does best when things are direct, even if they're not always direct, right? As do you, even if you're not always direct. Catch yourselves, stop the game, get back to being centered with each other, and we'll see what's there. Certainly some interesting conversation, if not a lot more. I like it. Okay, let's move on to another one. If you guys haven't already done so, please give this video a thumbs up. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook pages, and here on YouTube. Drop a comment of any kind. It does help me on the algorithm. And please do subscribe. If you want to do a reading like this privately, I do Rivera Psychic Medium.com under love and relationship category. Or if you just have one question, you can do an email submission or you can book a psychic mediumship read with me at any time. I do work internationally, all hours, including videos, if you're in like India or whatever. And yeah, we'll get to it there. All right, lots of fun. All right, Latasha has a $10. So Latasha says, what is in store in love in 2025? Well, you know, the first 2 quarters for you come up as like forgetting about love. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying your mentality needs to be, I'm not hyper focused on romance. I am focused on all of the relationship development that I'm having, networking, business opportunity connections, deepening in friendships that may already be there, new friends coming in, what I would call in your case, soul tribe member. You have so much happening here. Maybe some detoxing from toxic like family or old partnerships, maybe some boundary setting as well. All of these things really need to be the focus for the first 2 quarters of the year, and then we have more romance coming in. I had a super annoying client today who was like, I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I just want to know what's going on in my love life. You can't level jump. Nobody can level jump, okay? And like I said, our life is a spider web. There aren't categories. We don't have wealth and then travel and then relationships. We don't have those categories. We have an interconnection of everything. And if there's a hole in the spider web that needs to be fixed, or we need to feed it, or we need to beautify it or strengthen it in some way, that is going to affect everything else. So it's this first in relationships for you. Now, if you are paying attention instead of centering love life in your interactions with other people, they're going to notice that. And they're going to be like, this is a whole human being. I'm interested in this human being. I want to promote this human being in my life. I want to level this person up. Okay. So then your other relationships are developing, and a whole bunch of exciting, I want to say, lessons and growth opportunity come from that. Then love starts to come in more. And I think that you could find yourself talking to a couple people early on in the year that you're maybe not fully interested in. And that may take a break. I don't know if you get off the dating apps or if you just stop dating, or this is up to your free will, but there does seem to be a disconnect. Okay. This could also come from them getting off or becoming unavailable for a while. And then it resurrects itself. It comes back around. And you may be looking in the last 2 quarters more at these people again and seeing them in a very different light, okay, than what you had previously. I do see someone with very dark hair who has a lot to say, who talks with their hands, who is very passionate about things, can also get very kind of angry about things. But I think you find it funny. I think that you could feel with this relationship that given the amount of intellectual exchange, the chemistry, the sexual connections, and the desire to do things like travel, go on adventures, learn more together, see things, explore the world, I think that could lock this thing down. Okay, quite possibly. So we'll see. We'll see what you guys choose to do. Have fun with it. But yeah, that one stands out more. There will be a couple others, but one you're kind of obsessing over. This person's jerking you around. Just be careful this year, okay? Someone's like inconsistent. First red flag is the last red flag. You're inconsistent. Bye. You sent me a good morning text every day for the last 3 weeks. Then one day you didn't. Bye. You know, there's something deliberate going on with this person. They're trying to be manipulative, cat and mouse, get you to chase them. And you're not doing it. They read you wrong. You don't need it, okay? All right, we're going to move on to another one. And this is a $10 from Lynette. Okay, so Lynette says, how does the relationship look for Jeff and I? You know, Jeff may be going through some mental health stuff. And if he does well with that, I think the relationship may, I heard soften, but like, okay, what does that even mean? If you feel like Jeff has walls up, if you feel like Jeff blocks you out, if you feel like Jeff gets upset and he's like, no, you know, I'm emotionally detaching, I'm not available anymore. And you've been like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not chasing you. I'm not parenting you. I'm not carrying the emotional labor for this relationship. I'm not your educator. You know, I'm not doing this. If that's where this has started to go at any point, you see a bit of a pattern of potential, I think that what's going to happen is that there could be some growth if he does what he needs to do in regards to his mental health stuff. And I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but I do think that the processing and his ability to like self-regulate and be more present. This is a person who needs to learn how to get comfortable in the discomfort of life, to be more present in their other relationships, ultimately, we're talking about here today. And if that happens, you may also feel like he gets up off the couch. So he also reads as couch guy. Now, couch guy in my symbol base is someone who is motivated to do the bare minimum to keep life going, to keep you around, to keep the bills paid, to just get through life. It's like, I'm going to do the bare minimum. And maybe into escapism and avoidance as well. And that could vary. Okay. Escapism, avoidance, addictive type tendencies to avoid doing the work, for example. And I think that if, again, we can get through that phase, you may see him in a very different way. And I guess the question then becomes, is he seeing you in a very different way? Is he seeing really what you bring to the table? And I do wonder if you're looking at things and you're saying, we're very different people. You know, we're different people than what I thought we were. I think you may be addicted to that kind of thing. And maybe when that rush is gone and he's just Jeff off the couch, you may look at it and be like, huh, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But those are the dynamics that need to get worked through. And this will go ballpark 3 to 6 months. So we'll see what you guys do with it. Okay. Interesting. I think the most important thing for you as I move on to the next one here is just make sure you don't overreach at any point. So relationships are like a ping pong game. You hit the ping pong over, he hits the ping pong back, you hit it over. Should it ever go off the table on his side, you don't wait for him to pick it up. You don't yell for him to pick it up. You don't go get another ping pong. You walk away. Keep that set at all times. Don't even get into a pattern where you're overreaching. And that includes mentally thinking about it too much, emotionally giving too much where you shouldn't be. Okay. TikTok is shutting me down. We probably have a matter of seconds because they hate me and they always shut me down. So everybody on TikTok, you're going to want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy. It's the same handle. All right. We are going to move on to another one. This is from Maraid. This is a $5. Amarade wants to know, hi, Ivy. I ended my friendship with my friend Jess in the beginning of the year. She has reached out to me a few times lately in an attempt to talk. Do I consider that or block and move on? Let me see what I'm getting from her energy here. Ooh, she wants to stick it to you. If she can get an opportunity to get your ear, she's going to freaking stab it with a pencil or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need to learn anything. I don't need to hear your words. I don't need to see anymore. There is enough of a pattern here in this relationship anyways, as I look to the past, where she has proven to not show up for you. I even wonder if she's jealous of you in such a way where if you're doing any better than her, as long as you're below her, you may not have even noticed it. But if you're doing anything that she can't do, if you receive any kind of promotion from the universe, whatever, if you're proud of yourself in any way, if you have a benefit she cannot attain, she shows jealousy. So she may show her true colors and be a shitty friend and even try to knock you down a peg, or siphon your energy and just make things unfortunate. I do think maybe even joking, like inappropriate jokes toward you, cutting, that's super petty. I mean, that's super immature. But when we look at where we are now, you really delivered what she considers a low blow to her ego in being the one who said, thank you for the time together, but this really just is not for me anymore. And you did it respectfully. You did it peacefully. You did it from a heartfelt place of loving yourself and knowing she doesn't deserve any more of that love. She didn't earn it, right? She's entitled. And nothing could have rubbed her more the wrong way. And so if you respond, you're going to get pelleted with blame and victimhood and excuses. And she's going to do the best she can in those brief moments to cut you down. So no, there's a lack of sincerity here. All right, we're going to move on to another one. There's narcissistic tendencies there too. I'm realizing as I kind of pull out of that, I'm like, ugh. If you were to look at, if you were to go into Google and you were to look at all these different narcissistic, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis. I'm not saying she's a narcissist. I'm saying she has narcissistic tendencies and uses all of the techniques that they use. There's 12 or 16 of them, and you could almost check them all off. Not necessarily between you and her, but in her life, you could check all those off. You've seen her do this. you know. And I think this is a good lesson for everybody, that we don't go back to those people. We don't let them in. That's why we do things like no contact. That's what no contact means. That means that before you take the bait and beat yourself up again, because it will be your own fault at that point, right? Because you already know better. You say, no, this is a narcissistic tactic. I think it's called hoovering, or sometimes it's like breadcrumbing or whatever. Okay, interesting. All right, let's move on to another one. This is from CJG. This is a $10 question. Okay, CJG wants to know, my daughter JH is 18. Okay, but she is so pessimistic about everything. School, relationships with friends. What can I do to help her move forward? I'm so worried about her. Well, you see this also with Gen Z kids. So any parents of Gen Zers, they're the doomers. They're called the doomers for a reason. They see clearly. So, you know, I would say with my kids, like, look at this beautiful sunset, look at the water, look at this. And it would be like, that's pollution. That color came from the toxic, like every day, all day. That's what it is. They're the doomers. Now, just because, you know, is 18 still Gen Z, or is that elf? I don't know what 18 is, whatever. It's the same thing. It's going to trickle down. Okay. And I think what's best is for, instead of us older generations, it really started with the millennials. Okay. Any other millennials out there, you know damn well this came from you anyhow. You know what I mean? That's how we think. We knew the truth. We just knew it. And, you know, the government wasn't going to do anything. The laws were never going to come into place. We could give up all the straws and recycle everything and never, you know, run the water while we're brushing our teeth or flush the toilet an extra time. We could do everything and it didn't matter. Nothing changed. Well, we have to be the ones to say, okay, we're not going to try to put our toxic positivity and BS on them, because they are part of the generations that are awakened. They are, you know, born in growing up at a time where Pluto just left Capricorn, which was the patriarchy and capitalism and toxic masculinity, you know, and lack of growth and, you know, ignorance. And I mean, all that stuff, right? We're done. Now we're in Pluto in Aquarius, which is the new revolution. And it's going to require that kids like this, well, I don't think you should dismiss their anxiety. I don't think you should dismiss their depression. I don't think you should, you know, do anything that would keep them from like going to therapy or self-help. Like, we want to look at all those things. We want to engage in those things, but we also want to embrace the reality of what they're seeing. And it is reality, you know. I think that the sooner we can learn to roll with that, the better. And we don't want to put onto them what the older generations put onto us, which was basically like, if you do it this way, then you'll have all these benefits. No, they won't. No, they won't. They're not falling for it. And they know that, and they want to deal with the reality of the circumstances. Now, what we can help them to do is find a way to process that and not feed it. Okay, so great example, again, when I would point something out, and like my kids, for example, would say like, well, that's not a beautiful sunset. That's pollution from this factory. And that's when this chemical mixes with this chemical and it causes this color. And that means the water is also polluted and this and that. I would be like, can we not, like, can we own where we're negatively affecting everyone else in the vehicle right now? You know, what you could do is to point out how these are maybe becoming toxic communications. You know, these are things that would best be held for maybe a private conversation or something that we're working on in our goals, you know, and maybe even in therapy if it bothers them that much. But they need to start realizing that there are better ways to approach this level of like anxiety, depression, negativity. It is not toxicity that they created. It is toxicity that they inherited, and good for them for being pissed and disgusted. And with that will come despair. But that is the beginning of the upward swing on the revolution. And we've only just begun, you know, very incredibly early in like matter of weeks, technically. So, you're going to want to create outlets for them to discuss that at a more appropriate and constructive time without shaming them or shutting them down at all. Okay. I know, I understand what you're saying. But therapy is good. We also have to remember a lot of the therapists are very limited. Okay, because they're also the old school system, the DSM-5. You know, it's like, well, did all these pills and big pharma and any of this help anybody? No. We're even more in despair than we ever were. You know, and quite frankly, we should all be there. I mean, we should all be working from that energy to create solutions. You know, transmuting it, alchemizing it. So those will be the words for your kid. How can we transmute this? How can we alchemize what you're talking about? Pain to power. Okay. Get them involved in activism, get them involved in volunteering, get them involved in politics, get them involved in legal, you know, environmental law, get them involved. They need to take action, and it can't be fluff, you know. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Sorry, I think I went over on that. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Lavender Time. This is a $10 question. Lavender Time says, started a new connection with Victor 6 months ago. Very intense, but he is newly divorced. And it feels too good to be true. Want to check into his energy and see if he is truly honest about his emotions. Nope. Victor's having a good time. So in the moment, if Victor were 8 years old and Victor were to say, like, in, you know, playing soccer or something, or playing basketball, like, I just scored a goal, or I just made a shot, or I just, you know what I mean? I just scored a touchdown. If this were football, you know, it's like, I just scored. And it's like, woo, in that moment, you know, he is feeling that. Yes, you're right. No, he's being totally honest. It's what happens after that, you know, that really counts, because that's a brief moment in time. So he's getting these sort of dopamine and adrenaline hits and strokes to his ego from the interactions with you, whether they be verbal, you responding to a text, sexual, any of that. And then it's gone. And his only real mentality toward you, his drive to get back to you, only really comes from needing another hit. So you may hear nothing in between, or you may see a drop in his consistency, or you may feel an immediate detachment and then wonder, what the heck just happened? That's what just happened. It's sort of the equivalent of like, you know, like having an orgasm and then being like, bye now, you know, like, you're not staying the night. I'm not cooking you, but like, you don't live here. Like, you bye, you know, that's it. And there was like so much leading up to that felt like genuine connection, because it was, but now that moment has passed, you know. Now the question then becomes, is there enough here to create more connection? And I really don't think so. I think that you have seen enough in a lot of ways. And I think that, you know, you have a way of being like, well, you know, I feel this relationship is making me vulnerable, dysregulating my nervous system, making me question things, not just about like him or the relationship or what's true, but also that means then yourself, your own intuition, and you're like, I don't care for that. You know, I don't care for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you move on. But I think I answered that question. Whew, I can't imagine what his wife went through. Okay. So no, and you also haven't gotten the full scoop on that, or the full story, and you won't ever. Okay. So do what you need to do to have fun here. Those that rush is great, but a lot of it is just him trying to get a stroke to his ego, which could include things like getting you to listen to him, or he may trauma dump, or like getting you to respond to his texts, or anything like that. He is getting a hit off of that. Okay, so that also has to be very balanced. Okay, making sure that you've gotten paid out first. It's kind of like making sure you have your orgasm first. It's kind of like that. Okay, in every way, shape, and form with this person. Pay up, pay me first. You know. All right. We are going to move on to another one. This is from Kayleen. This is a $10. So Kayleen wants to know, I would like to know about the man I'm into, JB. Should I keep him? And is he into me? Okay. Well, I don't know why you would have him without knowing that he's into you. Like, he should be like, if you have him in your life, like literally, as a significant player, he should just be like letting you know every day, all day, you know, that he's into you. This should never be a question. So straight out of the gate, I'm like, I don't even like the way that was said. That should never be a question. If you were giving anyone even a moment of your time, there should be reciprocity, because adult relationships are transactional. The only time we have unconditional love is a parent to child dynamic. Once you grow up, that's gone. That's gone. Okay, so I would all out of the gate say we have some problems here, but it's more in your mentality about this relationship. So you may want to examine that. Oh, is there more to this? Is this the same person? Okay, so Kayleen says, I feel it's always me doing everything. I'm not surprised. Why did you let that happen? I've known him for 19 years. I just don't know. Sometimes I feel it. Sometimes I don't. It's stupid. Well, it's not stupid, but what you've decided to do here is to show someone that you'll do all the labor, that you'll overreach, that you're needy, that you're codependent, that you'll just do the most for no payout. Because, you know, there will always be takers in the world, but it's almost like you can't blame someone for taking advantage when you're taking advantage of your own self and you're just giving it away for free. This does feel like a codependent relationship dynamic, in that the first time you ever had to ask that question, you should have set a boundary or walked away. The question about, you know, does this person even have feelings for me, or should, you know, is there something significant here? That should never be a question. So you need to start there. Okay. I would definitely, whether it's looking into therapy, or it's doing some self-help stuff, or it's watching YouTube videos, I would dive deep into what codependency is and how often we overlook that, how many areas of your life you're overlooking it in. Okay. 19 years it's kind of shocking, honestly. Okay. So no, is this somebody you should be dealing with? No, it isn't. But that's not going to fix it. Not dealing with him or seeing him in that way anymore isn't going to fix the root issue. Okay. And people will always, and then it just makes you the martyr and it makes you the victim, because they will always take advantage of you and you will always just keep giving even when you shouldn't. Right. And that means you're getting paid somehow, but that is toxic pay. And that's what makes it codependent. All right. Let's move on to another one. We are at time. All right, awesome. You guys are welcome. I see your thank yous coming in. I appreciate you guys being here. And again, we have the Psychic Mediumship course starting January 7th. Registration is now open. The raffle is currently going on. Get your tickets. You can win a free seat to the course. We also have tarot starting January 7th. And if you guys want to book a reading with me, I work over the phone 99.9% of the time internationally. And no matter where you are, what time zone you're in, you can, if you have to, even get a video download read. So go to Rivera.psychicmedium.com to book that, or your love and relationship reading. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great night.